Under mounting pressure, the Nigerian police force announced today that the police's special anti-robbery squad, known as SARS, has been dissolved. This is in response to the nationwide protest against police brutality by the SARS unit in West African country. Now, this, of course, is the story that has been going on for a while now, especially we've seen those protests this past weekend. To get an update on that story, I'm joined now by Open Society Fellow on Investigative Reporting for Wits University, Patrick Egu. Patrick, good evening, and thank you very much for your time tonight here on the Newsfeed Late Night.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Is this a surprise move on your part that this unit has been dissolved?
Not at all, because, this is not the first time the police is coming out to announce that they're banning the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, which is notorious in Nigeria for human rights abuses, notorious for illegal arrests, torture and killing of innocent Nigerians all the time. So this is actually not the first time. I think this is the fifth time that they're coming out to announce that they are banning SARS. It's happened in 2017, in 2018, in 2019, and earlier this year in February, the police chief came out to say, okay, we are banning SARS, but they keep on going back to the street to exploit innocent Nigerians, to torture them, to arrest them for committing no crimes at all. So come on, this is not a surprise to me at all.
So what's really surprising is that they are not holding anyone accountable. In fact, the officers who are involved in this human rights abuse are basically just being redeployed, which means that they still remain on the police's payroll.
Of course, yeah, that's one of the steps that the police chief announced today, that they are going to be redeployed, all around the country and in new formations and units. But the question we keep asking is that where are these guys going to be redeployed? No mention of that, and there wasn't any mention of an investigative inquiry or commission set up by the police to investigate these officers who are carrying out these crimes. Some persons have been killed since the protest started going on in Nigeria, and nobody has been held to account for for these crimes, and it keeps happening. And that's the problem. That's the question that we back in Nigeria and Nigerians and the protesters are calling on the government to. They're actually calling on the president to sign an executive order so that we can know, yes, we have a document and we have a legal action we can fall back on to say that SARS has been, dissolved. But for now, it's just mere statements from the police chief.
Now, this unit or the squad was formed in 1992, formed to combat armed robbery using what they call the element of surprise. And that meant that they were faceless and they would operate in plain clothing and plain vehicles. Now, seemingly, that aspect of things is what made them successful in the beginning. But isn't it ironic that it's that very same thing that turned them to be now these dangerous human beings who are terrorizing society?
Of course, they were set up to combat crime, combat armed robbery, but they've lost focus, obviously. What they do now is to go after innocent Nigerians, hardworking Nigerians, who are making a living from their craft, to harass them, to arrest them, to torture them, and to kill them. They actually ask you to pay money after arresting you, and if you don't pay the amount they mentioned, they are going to kill you in the process. They can arrest you for having tattoos all over your body. They can arrest you for holding an expensive phone. They can arrest you for driving an expensive car. So whatever you are leaving your home, you can inform your people back at home that, today I might be arrested by SARS. So that's how terrible it is. Yeah.
Reading a report on the Washington Post, in fact, Patrick, that list goes on. They can arrest you for having dreadlocks, or they can arrest you for having white people on your contact list, and so on and so forth. And there are 82 cases, according to Amnesty International, of squad brutality reported in the last 3 years, but you can only count probably like 2 who have actually been held accountable up until this point. What is the challenge here in terms of accountability?
I think it's the lack of will by the police hierarchy in Nigeria and the authorities, to actually arrest and prosecute these officers who are carrying out these crimes. There hasn't been any successful, case of officers who have been arrested and prosecuted for the crimes they've committed, for the killings that they've committed. And this is beyond SARS. I think I personally feel that the problem is systemic in the Nigerian police, so there needs to be an overhaul. After dissolving SARS, it doesn't end there. There needs to be an overhaul of the whole police structure in Nigeria. Because for me, apart from that, these guys are going to go back to the street and continue their brutality on innocent Nigerians.
Now, President Buhari announcing, of course, that ban on their stop-and-search operations in plain clothes and so on and so forth. He says, well, this indicates the determination of Nigeria to reform the police. Should we take those statements seriously?
Of course, no Nigerian nowadays is going to take the statements of the president seriously. For example, for the past couple of days that the protests have been going on, the president hasn't come out to address Nigerians, to show compassion, to show that he cares as the leader, to address and to calm down nerves that is actually in flames in Nigeria now. He hasn't released a statement and saying that plain-clothed Nigerian SARS officers are going to, stop police brutality is just mere statement by the president. And like I said before, this is not the first time that they are coming out to dissolve SARS. It has happened more than 5 times, or I think I've lost count on how many times they've come out to make the statement. But it keeps, going on, and that's why Nigerians say that they are tired, that enough is enough. All over Nigeria, even around the world, in London, in Johannesburg, in Canada, in Germany, people are actually coming out to show solidarity with Nigerians for the protest. And I can tell you, this is the highest, the most coordinated protest that I've seen since the 2013 protest against increase in fuel price. And Nigerians are not backing down. They are not taking the words of the police chief. They are actually on the streets protesting. And to make matters worse, to show how unbelievable these guys are, they are actually firing live bullets at peaceful protesters who are trying to demand better reforms, better policing. We paid you to protect us, and it's such an unbelievable thing that you turn back your guns at us to start killing people without committing any crime.
And the statement from the Nigerian police force, it says that a human rights group is going to be put to appoint the replacement squad. Is that a new approach, or is that something that has been done before, and will it yield any different results?
What Nigerians want now, and I can tell you, is the police chief has said that these guys have been redeployed without mentioning where or when, or to be specific in the redeployment. What I can tell you, and I think I'm speaking the minds of millions of Nigerians back at home, what they want now is the redeployment of these SARS guys back to northeast Nigeria to fight Boko Haram. I think that's what every other Nigerian wants, because come on, if they feel they know how to handle the guns. We have terrorists back in northeast Nigeria that are killing people, carrying out suicide attacks. That's where Nigerians want, these guys to be at the moment.
So they would support if they were redeployed there. But talk to me then about this squad itself. I mean, is it necessary, is it required in Nigeria, this anti-robbery squad?
At the beginning, yes, because of the rising cases of robbery and other crimes, But over time, they've lost focus, they've lost direction. Why they were set up in the first place. Yes, we have robbery, just like in every society around the world. We have robbery, we have crimes, but going about to intimidate, to harass, to illegally arrest innocent people who are going about their duties, hardworking Nigerians who are trying to earn a living in the harsh economic reality we have back at home, to harass them, to extort them. They even go as far as taking them to ATM points to withdraw money from their account and take the money. And they don't even go with identify or marked vehicles. They go with SUVs and unmarked vehicles that you can't even trace them. You don't know where they are coming from. You don't know the station they are coming from. So for me, they've lost focus. What we want at the moment is, yes, they've been dissolved, they've been banned, but we want a total overhaul of the whole police structure in Nigeria. Like I said, the problem is systemic. It goes beyond SARS. It goes beyond the normal police stations you have around. It is systemic, and we want a total reform, a total overhaul. We want retraining of these guys. We want a better approach for policing. We want, beyond that, what Nigerians even want at the moment, if I can say, is state policing. If a governor of a state is the chief security officer of the state, but he can't even command the commissioner of police in the state, so it makes no sense for me. What we want at the moment is beyond the reforms, beyond fixing the whole system, beyond fixing the whole roads in the police structure. Nigerians are calling for even state policing, so that each state, the people you control, the governor is in charge of the police chief in the state. He knows the people in charge, and he can call them to order. But for now, the governor can't even direct the police on what to do. So that's how terrible it is back at home. Yeah.
Now, in response, of course, to the call that was happening online, we saw a number of celebrities in Nigeria joining that hashtag End SARS campaign. How would you describe the impact of those celebrities coming on, and whether or not it did assist in amplifying the voice of the community?
Of course it did, but it did. We've seen, many celebrities, Davido and, Wizkid, and holding protests in London, in Abuja, in Lagos, tweeting. We've equally seen beyond Nigerian celebrities, we've equally seen international celebrities and, footballers, coming out to lend support to the movement. Drake, and the rest of them, and footballers all around the world. I think it has helped, to amplify the voices of people back at home. But even without the voices of celebrities, for example, Nigerians are determined. They've had it, they've had enough. They want the whole thing to come to an end. And I must tell you, this is the first time that Nigerians are going beyond what I call the hashtag activism about the movement to end SARS. Before, it was formally online, using hashtag to call for the banning of SARS and all that. But today, and days back, they've gone from the internet to the street. They've actually taken the protest to the doorsteps of lawmakers, to government officials, to the president, despite brutality in the process, despite the use of live ammunition, despite the use of tear gas canisters and all that. So the movement has been massive. Yes, celebrities have actually helped to push the movement forward, but Nigerians are determined, and you can't, there's no force that can, change the mind of a determined people.
Patrick, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Newsfeed Late Night. That is the Open Society Fellow on Investigative Reporting for Wits University, Patrick Ebu.